I mean, it's not my fault. It was in the heat of the moment. People actually say it's a charm. Sometimes they charm you. I mean, I want to know how true that is because
I don't think so.
not like I'm superstitious, but how it happened. I mean, not to say that I'm too smart. I always thought say it would never happen to me.
Right.
Because when I hear people talking about their stuff, I'm like, you should have known this. You should have known this person will never ask you. But when it happened to me, I was doubtful, but I still sent the money. I even added charges. Funny. What's up, friends? Hello, lovely people. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Take So podcast. Yes, your one and only favorite podcast. Yeah. So today, we are going to have exciting conversations because we have a doctor in our midst. I mean, she doesn't want me to loud it, but I'm definitely going to. So today, you can see that there's a change in the environment. Yeah, we are trying new stuff, so we are trying to check out new places and see how everything goes just for you to have insightful conversations just for you. So yes, today we have a doctor in our midst. I am Awurabena, as you already know, and I'm doing this with
the native son.
Yeah.
The favorite.
So the reason why we chose this topic actually remember the backstory when I said some 500 guys.
Why are you outing yourself? I want to be the one to do the outing.
I want to explain myself before anybody gives their story.
We'll
and
definitely
give
get
their story
there.
well. So today we are talking about cybercrime. It looks like it's becoming the new normal. People are actually taking advantage of people's, should I say, naivety or the fact that we don't know certain things. So people just take advantage and dupe people, because I have been a victim. It wasn't a nice experience at all. So today we are actually going to have a discussion on that. And we have a doctor in our midst. Let me do a special introduction. Yes, I really need to do that. So Dr. Sylvia Walali Azuma, I hope that I got the name right. Yeah. So I tried, yeah. She's a cyber threat intelligence analyst and a researcher. She lives in Cincinnati, Ohio. We are going to Abuja. She's a blogger, please, I beg.
Sister New London.
She has a passion for cybersecurity, driven by a desire to protect individuals from digital threats. I mean, if I knew her, I wouldn't have been in this trouble. And throughout her academic journey, she has shown a commitment to understanding cyber threats in systems. Sylvia's research focuses on integrating cybersecurity and deep learning, particularly in developing detective systems to combat cyberbullying. When she's not contributing to research, she dedicates her time and effort in inspiring the younger generation. Actually, I'm inspired because she's young and she's a doctor. I mean, everybody wants to be a doctor at a very young age.
Someday.
So welcome, Dr. Sylvia,
Thank
to the
you.
Take So podcast. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you for
And I'm sure
having
you're going to tell us a lot of things about cybercrime, because
yeah, for
people
sure.
are actually taking advantage of a lot of things. So yeah, I'm sure Doc is actually going to enjoy this conversation. Yeah. So we are talking about cybercrime. So Doc, welcome once again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah.
You're
Okay, so let's go into the conversation.
I think for starters, we need to get into like what cybercrime is and
Yeah.
what it means to, because I mean, it's alien to my ears.
Is it?
It is.
You've never been
Me
scammed
are
before.
you are me.
So let's talk about cybercrime. What is cybercrime?
Okay, so cybercrime is basically just using an electronic device to cause harm to another person who's also using the internet or another electronic device.
Yeah.
So usually people that cause harm to other people using computers or electronic devices are called threat actors.
Okay.
So in that case, they are trying to do certain things that would inflict pain on other people or just to extract or exploit them of their money, their reputation, or impersonate them, just like you said.
Yeah. So it means that those who engage in these things are actually inclined when it comes to technology.
Yeah. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Because we have some that are actually they're called script kiddies. They know nothing. They're just like playing around and they try to figure things out.
Yeah. Then let's get back to how your interest, the spike in your interest to go into cybercrime. Because I mean, what actually happened?
Yeah.
Was this thing happened to me and I was like, we need to educate people on this. So what happened that you went into learning about cybercrime?
Wow. I think my journey has been an interesting one.
Yeah.
So this started, I think, in 2013. I remember my mom being exploited. She had the same issue with, like, at that time, the MTN thing wasn't, like, she used to share passwords, if I can say that, right?
Like when she's going to retrieve
like
money.
when she's going to retrieve money from the vendor, she'll be like, okay, you know what, I can give you my password, and because we're her kids, she didn't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But luckily, sometime I think we were not around, and then she had this suspicious call from someone, and then she just began like going through with the transaction, and then the person exploited her like huge sums of money.
I'm sure the person was like, I'm your sister from London.
Oh yeah, of course. They would always like prey on your emotions because
Exactly.
There's something like human beings are actually the weakest link when it comes to cybersecurity because I mean we always act out of emotions, right? So it's always easier to use someone's emotion against them, right? So that was when it started, and at that time, I remember I was like getting my bachelor's in IT, and so I got introduced to an information security course, and in that course, I was tasked to investigate the Sony hack. So I don't know if you know Sony, they make cameras and all those kind of things.
I think I know Sony.
Yes, no, like Sony cameras.
Sony.
Yeah,
So,
Sony.
so they had. Like,
How old are you?
I'm very young, actually.
I
So I
know,
don't.
Gen Z. So they had a major breach, and then it got all their information leaked. So all the videos, all the limited edition of like updated softwares and everything that was like very private to the company was exposed. And so like just investigating on that, I was like, oh, this really sounds interesting. I really want to know how threat actors think. I want to know what's their motivation. Why do they do things like this? And so that was how my journey started, and then it spiked my interest in cybersecurity.
That's quite interesting.
I think we should investigate yours.
Mine?
Yes.
What actually happened?
Yes.
Did I give you that story actually?
Yeah, you should
No,
give
let me
the
give it to you, though.
story. You give it.
So, Abna was there, and then you know she works in the university here, and then she get a text message on WhatsApp from one professor that she should send him 1,000 CDs, and then she was like, "Prof," I said, "Yeah, I'm in class, so I'll get it to you. My niece has been admitted, so I need to get money to her so that they can treat her." And I was like, "Okay, but Prof, I can get you 500 CDs." People have 500 CDs in this economy.
This economy is
Sitting
so hard.
like ideally in their Momo accounts.
Funny enough, I had only 600 Ghana cedis in my account. I promise
Wow.
it was only 600 Ghana cedis.
Wow, yeah, rich.
You're very kind to
And then
say.
she sent it before verifying. She sent the money, and then she's now
It's terrible.
calling Prof, a whole professor. I mean, come to talk about it, a whole professor. You sent him 500, and then you're not confirming.
I mean, it's not my fault.
It
It was in the heat of the moment. People actually say it's a charm. Sometimes they charm you. I mean, I want to know how true
So you're
that is
superstitious?
I
because
don't think so.
not like I'm superstitious, but how it happened. I mean, not to say that I'm too smart. I always thought say it would never happen to me.
Right.
Because when I hear people talking about their stuff, I'm like, you should have known this. You should have known this person will never ask you. But when it happened to me, I was doubtful, but I still sent the money. I even added charges. Funny. I even added charges.
He wants Prof to get 500
So
CDs.
after sending it, I was like, come on, what did I just do? So I had to call to confirm. So let's talk about how they actually get to impersonate or hack somebody's account to the extent that they even have the person's profile picture still with the accounts that they are chatting you with. How does that process work?
So, anyway, that was an interesting
story.
It's something that I've witnessed in my day-to-day like job,
Yeah.
because like a lot of people get exploited, and it's okay to feel that, or for other people to say that you should have gotten it. I work with senior intelligence analyst or information security analyst, and they still fail cybersecurity tests. So it can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're like so aware of what is going on.
So it can happen to
Yeah, it
you?
can happen to me.
Wow.
Because like I've failed a phishing test before. Because
Okay.
like my company does phishing like tests, and they would send suspicious links. And then sometimes it's just so good to be true. And then you look at it and you're like, okay, this is actually true. Let me click on it. Blah, blah, blah. Right? So it can happen to everyone. So as to how they go about that, so these people are very resourceful people. They have sophisticated like tools. They use sophisticated tools, and they're smart. So they'll probably go online. Maybe they see that you're interacting so much online. They will try to maybe research on you. Where does she live? What does she do? Is she IT inclined? Is she like just a basic someone that we could just like call and then just say that, hey, you know what, like I actually need this, and then like she's like a kind person, you know.
But how do they get these personal
They get all
information?
of that from social media.
Oh.
So yeah, they get all of that from
Doc,
social media.
on WhatsApp, we don't normally put a lot of information
Yeah.
on there. So how do these people get like those kind of information that they need to impersonate you to, you know, exploit your contact list?
I mean, there are lots of ways that that can happen. It could be that there's a breach with one of the social, like the communication network, and maybe they're not talking about it. I mean, this is Ghana.
Yeah.
If they have a breach, I doubt they'll talk about it,
Yeah.
right? So your phone number can be in the wild. When you're registering for that, you use your date of birth, you use everything that's personal to you.
Yeah.
So if somebody gets their hands on that data, then that means they literally like know everything about you.
So
you
I-
don't have to post anything.
So our information is not safe way.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think there's enough security. Like anything can happen.
All the apps.
Anything can happen at any time. Yeah.
So what can these apps do? I mean, not like these apps, those who generate these apps. What can actually be done so that our personal informations don't really get into the hands of bad people to do these things?
Well, I mean, these apps are actually big companies.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for a company to come out and say, we've been breached and your data is out there. For instance, I had an issue for my health insurance provider. Got breached. That was last year.
Yeah.
And they informed me that my social security, my emails, and my date of birth were out in the wild. And to help me or to protect my data from getting into the wrong hands, they decided to provide us with softwares that would help us like get updated on what's going on there. Most of these companies actually incorporate all of these methods in their apps to help their users, you know, like just keep informed with what is going on, and also just be aware of what's happening on the platforms. But as to they coming out to say that, hey, we actually have some shortcomings in here and we just want to inform our users, it's very tricky, because some company lawyers would be like, hey, you don't have to tell the public about it. You just need to keep it as a secret until it comes out, and then they start explaining. So I think the first step is just beginning with ourselves, being aware of what can happen out there, and just being mindful of what information we put out there.
But they can actually communicate these things to us so that we get to know that this is what's happening, right?
Yeah, they can if they want to, because it has to. It takes a lot from the company if they have to come out and tell you that they are going through a breach. I mean, a lot of people go there and be like, why did you let my date of birth get out there? I'm going to sue you. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And they don't want to face that because it comes with a lot of financial obligation. You know?
Sometimes do we have a choice? Because you go to some websites and then they are giving you biscuits.
I mean, why would you want to go to that website in the first place? If
Sometimes you want to just read something and then they are giving you cookies.
Accept cookies.
And then even terms and conditions. It's a very tall list. So you can't even make time. We just skip
I
it.
promise
Accept.
I've never read it before. I just
I haven't.
accept cookies and
I
I just
haven't.
go ahead and do whatever I want to do.
So sometimes I don't think we have control over these
Yeah, I
things.
mean, it's true, it's fair. We don't have control over all of these things. Sometimes it just needs to happen. You know?
So, what steps can we take as a person so that you don't get into the hands of these people in terms of using social media and
Right.
all of that?
I think, first of all, we need to be aware. I keep saying
Yeah.
aware because it's a very important thing. I don't know if all of you are aware of every October, the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So from
Are you aware?
1st October to the end of
The
October.
term cybersecurity is alien to me. So how much?
Oh, I mean, you are not aware.
Everything cyber is internet. So
Okay.
cybersecurity, securing the internet, right? So every October, the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and it comprises of cybercrime, cyberbullying, everything that has to do with
In
the
the
internet.
world?
Yeah, in the world.
Oh,
So you see people posting about, hey, you know what, don't write your password on a sheet of paper. Don't like hang your work badge around your neck when you're walking out. Don't share your passwords with people, you know, all of that. So for us as human beings, because the attackers can actually like prey on our emotions,
Yeah.
it's important that we are aware of what is really going on. And so like if you should get a call like that, which you think that it's so urgent, you're like, oh no, this is not right. You don't give your details out.
Okay.
You get it? But most people don't know. They are always like, the first step is just to say, oh, you know what, I really don't have enough, but I can give you something. Just because they want to show how generous they are or kind they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main aim. They just have to make you feel like, oh, like you need to be
need to do.
generous and kind, and then you give out the money, and then
Yeah.
they're like, okay, block. And then you can't do anything about that.
Once they get the money,
Yeah, they get the money
You are
and
not
they get
hearing
your information
them.
so they can use it for other things if they
Yeah.
want to, right? So you stand at a bad
risk.
point, right? Or at a risk because your money is gone, you are emotional, and then psychologically you're down because in this hard economy, how can you lose 500?
I mean, thanks to God I had the money back.
no, but then still,
yeah, you
still,
actually
no,
refer-
but then still, you've lost money.
Yeah.
That week I
How?
was going through it. You should have sent me something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that
500
doesn't mean we have to be wicked when it
no,
comes to
it-
these things.
I mean, you don't have to be wicked, but you need to pay attention when it comes to things like this.
You have to
Because first
confirm,
of
you
all,
just don't have to
your
send-
emotions, which is social engineering.
Yes.
They will use that every single
Against
time.
you.
There's this popular woman, she's called Rachel Tobeck, and she's a social engineering person, ethical hacker. All
Okay.
she does is just call people and say, oh yeah, I work at the ER, I'm a nurse, your husband just came in, had an accident, and he started mentioning the last digit of his social. He said 2, can you mention it? And then their wife would start mentioning it.
Oh.
Right?
That's wild.
Because they know that, like, at that moment, if they start mentioning things, you start following.
That's a professor in cybercrime, I tell you.
Yeah, she's
Wow.
actually an ethical hacker, so that's what she does for a living, right?
Yeah.
She does that for companies.
Oh.
Yeah. So aside that, there are also like phishing techniques, like just sending messages, submission, all of that, and then you just click on the link, and then it does all kinds of things to you. So you have to be mindful of the link you're looking at. Sometimes you get like a call from some spam numbers. Don't answer them.
Yeah.
It's not important. Just leave them on read or something. Yeah.
Before she gets into it,
Okay.
when it comes to cybercrime, we are always talking about how people are exploiting people like via the internet,
Yeah.
like for money. We know that part, but then there is also the pornographic aspects. There's also the money laundering aspects, and then also even people stealing people's work.
Impersonation and all that.
Yeah. So do we as like social media users, sometimes you can see a picture of somebody, and then you find it very aesthetic.
Yeah.
So you want to share it,
Yeah.
not specifically on that particular app, but then you take a screenshot or even you save it and then you
Like you
reshare
send
it
to someone else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that also like piracy? Like
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. For instance, if you are finding it on the internet, that means the person allowed that to be there. So I guess like that's nothing wrong with that. But then if you're using like, let's say, um, like to exploit someone else for something, like for a specific like reason, which is a criminal act. Like you can share it with me, but I wouldn't use it for anything. But somebody can share, like I can share it with someone, and the person like impersonates that person's identity, and then maybe goes to someone else and say, oh hey, this is me, this is my name, I look so pretty, and I want to be friends, can we go on a date? That is wrong. But just sending it, it has nothing to do, like it's just normal.
So we're safe to put our information there.
Oh, I mean, like you're safe to put your information out there, but you have to be particular about what information you put out there. Like I wouldn't recommend you put your date of birth out there. Some people don't even like to use their full government name on social media. They
Recently
rather
used
use
mine.
like a combination of their nicknames, so that nobody gets it. Because truth be told, some people's passwords are a combination of their names and their date of birth. So if I should get your full name and I get your date of birth, I can work something out and maybe hack your computer or like access some files and information that are private to you. So certain information you're not supposed to put out there, like the location at which you are, like at a particular time, because we see people showing up at the location and then killing people or doing certain things, right? Like child pornography and all of that. So all those things are very, like, we need to be careful about that.
Yeah, I think on Snapchat, people's locations are on. You can literally know
Yeah.
where
like, I
someone
see everyone's
is.
location.
1 minute ago.
Yeah.
Continue.
Because like I was trying to tell a friend that I'm in Ghana, and then he said, your location is off. I thought it was a throwback. I was like, yeah, I'm actually in Ghana. So because I don't share my location, I don't do everything, like, people just assume that, oh, this was like a year ago or like something like that, you know.
I
So,
mean, when you open Snapchat and you go to map, you just see everybody all
everyone's
over the world.
location, which
Oh,
is-
but then it's
which
not
is-
everybody. Some people are in ghost mode.
You
Specifically,
said?
I am in
It's
ghost
just
mode.
a few. It's just a few people. It's just a few. But
Maybe
are
those
there-
people don't care.
You said
Maybe those people don't care.
you don't
Yeah,
care.
okay,
Or
so
probably they don't
here's
know.
the point. Maybe they don't know. So that's why awareness is important. So
Yeah.
maybe you could use your podcast in October
Yeah.
to educate people about cybercrime.
Will you
Dog,
be
why
here in
not?
October?
Dog, why
Yeah,
not
in
now?
October. I mean,
Dog, why not now?
You can do that now. You can do that now.
So,
Tell
if
them
you are
to
here-
take their locations off.
Yes.
You know, change their passwords regularly. Don't share their passwords with their partners. I mean, people are like, oh,
With your
I need my
partner?
girlfriend to know my password or whatever. I mean, the
Nothing
hacker-
happens?
the
People are
hacker-
going to
the hacker
disagree
can
with
use
you,
your
actually.
the hacker can use your girlfriend to exploit you, whatever you do.
People
Because
share
it's like,
passwords.
It's an emotional thing, you know.
Wow, love
So-
must be nice.
People are sending their live locations here and then. You're saying we shouldn't share with our partners?
I mean,
You know, I learned lately that I don't have to share my this. So even if I'm making a post on social media, I make sure that that image or the video is like a month old
Yeah.
or a week old in my gallery. So when I post it, you'll be like, hey, you are here. You were here. I was like, oh yeah.
like 1 week ago,
I was there, yeah.
1 month ago, yeah.
Oh, interesting. But are there legal actions one can take when these things happen? Like my issue like this, can I take a legal action? I mean,
Do you have
I
money?
don't even know the impersonator.
Do you have money?
I don't know the
But
person.
do you have the number?
That
Do you have the number that you received the call from?
it wasn't
the
a call.
message
It was
from-
yes.
Yeah,
I have
so
the
if you have
contact.
the number, you can report that number.
But they say when you call the number, it goes to the person.
To the,
I mean,
to
the
right
professor,
person.
the right person.
Okay, so then that means the person is kind of like tracing the call to someone, like to another number,
So he's
which you
directing
can't
the.
see. Yes.
Oh.
So they're just like, so maybe that professor can go to the police station and report that number. And then maybe the network provider can work on maybe checking if there are some other numbers like bouncing off that number.
Yeah.
Right? That's like one step they can take. For legal actions, this is Ghana, obviously.
Oh, I mean, but Imran, they do and they do. You don't know that the rules work yet, so
Yeah.
You
it
had-
gets to you.
I mean,
You had
yeah,
600 and then you are going to report. How much the police even take?
you can always reach out to the cybercrime unit.
Okay.
I saw their advert on television, I think last week. You can report any crime, anything that you think is suspicious to them, and they can take it up from there and then investigate on that. Yeah, and I think it just depends on where you find yourself. The jurisdiction is different, so there are different things that you can do when it comes to legal action. In the US, you probably like just report to the bank, report to the network provider, and then maybe just file a police report, and then they can take it from there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Okay. Doc,
I mean,
yeah.
they say if you see something, say something.
Yes,
That's what the
see
police says.
something,
But
say something,
we actually
yes.
don't do it because when it happened to me, I didn't take any action. I was like, I mean, I was just sad and I had to let it go.
I'm sure you're feeling like, oh, this is an act of kindness.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, initially.
Composure.
Then wait, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How's your relationship with the professor?
I mean, it's not like a personal relationship,
Right.
but we work on a project,
Yeah.
so we have a conversation.
So
Do you
strictly
get?
projects.
Exactly.
You don't do anything personal.
Not really.
So that should have been the #1 red flag for you.
I mean, I had all the doubts in my head,
Right.
but I still went ahead to do it.
Yeah.
Still
And
doesn't cancel it for
I had
me.
a conversation with someone who it happened to, and the person was like, "It's a charm." I mean, it's not like I
Superstition.
believe
What do
in
you
those
mean by
things.
charm?
Superstition.
There's nothing like charm in
Like-
the world of cybersecurity.
There's
or
nothing like
cybercrime
that.
or what. I mean, once you get what they want.
You have the doubts, but you still send it.
No.
That's the funny part.
The end goal is to get the money. As long as they're getting the money, they do whatever it takes to
And
get
it's
the
very
money.
fast though.
Yes.
Shoo.
Yes.
Like within 2 minutes, you're sending the thing. Like you have your doubts and you're still sending the money.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
up to now, I still think about it. To be honest, I still
Kafra,
think about
kafra,
it, and I'm
kafra.
like, how?
Nana Kafra.
That's the long-lasting like effect that it takes on you.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
takes
yeah,
a toll
yeah, yeah.
mentally, physically. So next time, if you should get a genuine call from maybe like your sister, you might say that, oh wait, let me check for my mom
Confirm.
if this is really
Exactly.
my sister's number before I
Exactly.
give the money out. Right?
I mean, it's a lesson I have learned the hard way.
Doc, there have been instances to where, let's say, software developers or even computer developers, they install like other
certain applications.
applications
on,
to spy on users. I think, is that right?
It depends on the company policy. So tell you what. So I worked at a place where we experienced that same issue. So this software engineer, you are just in charge of developing the apps and just testing them. But I don't know, for some reason, I don't know why he had the Tor browser. I don't know if you heard of the Tor browser. It's a browser that's used to access certain things on the dark web.
Oh, okay.
So you're using a company computer and you're using that to access certain things on the dark web on the company's computer.
Whoa.
That is so wrong in every way, right? And it's on the list of unapproved applications that you're not supposed to have on your computer.
Whoa.
So we're going through like the logs for the day, and then we find out that there's this weird IP. We try to investigate it, and we find out that that IP was a Tor browser, right? Quickly, we have to declare an incident to take down that from the person's computer, contain the person's computer, because we don't know if they've had access to that particular computer and then spread through the other parts of the network. Those are very risky. You don't do that. I mean, if it's on your personal computer, you can go ahead and do that. But if it has to do with like
Company.
organizations, like things that you know it's going to be a big risk, you don't try it. That's really bad.
But from what you are saying, looking into the future, do you think there are like new tactics that these cyber criminals are going to use in the future? Like, what are those new things that you think they might be using in the future?
Yeah, I think they're going to be like there's going to be a development of new tactics because obviously technology is evolving.
Yeah.
So there are new tools, sophisticated ones. But I still feel like, or I still believe that attackers are still going to be using the social engineering pattern, which is making use of human beings as the weakest link. So still awareness needs to be a top thing. Aside that, I believe that attackers are going to be using more of machine learning and AI as a tool to attack more people. Currently, they are doing that, and it's called adversarial attacks. So it's more of like just deceiving the ML or the AI bots to look different. Or so, for instance, let's say I have an AI bot to say if somebody steps into like my office, it should be able to detect the person's face or whatever.
Yeah.
But they could use that same AI bot to identify everybody, regardless, even if the person is suspicious or not.
Okay.
And then it could say that, oh, this person is like faultless, so let the person in.
But
So
the
it
person
could
has
bypass,
faults.
yes, it
Oh.
could bypass all the bad things, even if you give it like maybe here are the bad baselines, here are the good baselines.
Yeah.
It could still bypass that and go ahead and do the things it wants to do, right?
Yeah.
So I see them exploiting that a lot to take advantage of people, right?
Yeah.
I
Doc,
mean, though,
with AI, a lot of AI applications and then softwares going on. Do you think we're safe? What's your opinion on AI?
are we safe? I mean,
Are we
AI
safe?
asking you if you are human.
Yes. A computer
It's
asking
so
me if I'm
funny.
human.
It's
And then
so funny.
I choose traffic lights.
Yeah, I mean it's a big topic, you
Yeah.
know. Like people in AI are saying, "Oh, this is really going to be a big thing. This is going to save us." Some people are also saying it's going to take our jobs.
Jobs.
So, but for me personally, I feel in the field of cybersecurity, AI cannot completely take out human beings because like I work as an analyst, and an analyst job is to make sure you are seeing certain things that a normal detection system or like an anomaly detection system cannot see.
Okay.
So if I'm allowing only the anomaly detection system to do its work, then that means there are a lot of things that are being bypassed and that are missing, right? Yeah, it's going to evolve, it's going to develop, but I still feel like we as human beings also need to be like on top of our game and then get things right.
So we shouldn't let our guards
Oh
down.
no, don't let your guards out. I mean, don't let your guards down, sorry. The people that are training the machine learning and AI are literally people.
People.
Yeah, because like they have all the logic in their minds and they're writing series of codes and all those things just to program it. So, I mean, while they're doing that, you know that it's not everyone that has good concepts in their minds to build certain things,
Very
right?
true.
So you also have to be vigilant. Yeah.
I mean, it's been an insightful conversation. I've actually learned a lot. Doc is saying 10 of your location on Snapchat, people.
10 of your locations, don't share your password.
Yeah.
Please try and use two-factor authentication as well, because like you don't only want to use passwords, you want to use maybe facial recognition, biometrics, all of that just to protect yourself. I always say do not use passwords, but use passphrases.
Okay.
So passphrases are more complex to crack. So it's like if I want to set a password right now, I'll be like, my name is Lali, and I'm
Hey,
at
I hope
the
you're not giving your
Indaba
passwords
X.
out. So.
I'm at the Indaba X conference at Rwanda, blah, blah, blah. A combination of phrases rather than using the guy you like plus the baby you like.
Sewa would do that. That sounds like something
no, I
Sewa
would
would
not
do.
do
Which
that.
most people do. Yes, most people do that. Most people do that a lot.
What if you
So,
forget?
I mean, you don't have to forget. It's a password. You need to keep it in your mind. It's important because if somebody gets their hands on it, they are going to do what you might not forget. So why not get a password?
It just hits me.
That was a bad day.
Hits me.
Why not get a password that
Yeah.
they will never
Never
get
get.
and will never make you think about it,
something
right?
that you never
exactly
forget.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been so insightful. I've learned a lot. I mean, I've learned it the hard way. That's why we're having this conversation because we all have to learn. We need to be abreast with what's happening. But just a final one. You study. What do you specialize in?
So I studied IT right from my undergrad through my PhD,
Okay.
and I specialize in cybersecurity. Yeah.
So if somebody wants to pursue your journey, how can the person do it? What will you tell the person? Because I mean, you're an inspiration. Women in tech. Women in tech. Come on.
For some reason, I always find this question tough.
Why?
Because like we're all different, right?
Yeah.
And my journey was different as well. Because I had a background I mean, did I really have the background? I didn't have a background. I transitioned from business in high school.
Oh, okay.
And then I went straight into tech. So it was really tough for me.
Okay.
But if you're coming from a tech background, it's easy. You could go online, just look out for schools that are out there and that are offering funding, and then you can apply to that and just like go when the time comes.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the starting point.
I mean, so if you want to be like Doc, I mean, she has said it all. Follow her path and you're going to be a woman in tech. I mean, it's been an insightful conversation. I've said this for the third time because my eyes are open. I'm going to turn off my location.
She is
on
lying.
Snapchat. I mean,
She
I'm going to
is
do that.
lying.
I'm actually going to do that.
The key word is be aware.
Yeah, be
Just
aware.
be aware. It's,
I mean-
it's sometimes it's the little things
Yeah.
that we use. For instance, I could just go on LinkedIn and just try to profile someone. Just look up the job the person does, like their interactions with people on their walls,
Yeah.
just to have an idea of who the person is, and then I can attack the person in that way.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happens.
I think I saw a video last week on Twitter. There is this guy that finds you wherever you are.
Yeah, the location, and then there was this lady that
Lady
said,
was
"I'm
like,
somewhere you can't
She go-
find
and
me."
then this guy went about it
Yeah.
within a few minutes.
Yeah.
He was able to project where the exact location the lady
location,
was,
yes.
Wow.
and then where she was headed towards. Like I was like, that's crazy.
I mean, they said it's a global village, so.
Oh, yeah.
that's not safe at all because
Yeah.
Shirley, if somebody on another continent, like within a few moments, can
Can
just
find-
take a video from your page and then
Yeah.
analyze it and then get to know that this is where you are, this is where you are headed towards. Hey, we should really be careful
Nothing
because
Yeah, you
is safe
should.
on the internet, so you rather not put anything there. Just be.
but we also want to be creators.
I know this generation. Everyone
Content
wants to be content
creation,
creator.
influencing.
Everyone
Hi
wants to be
guys,
an
I'm
influencer.
at Country Club. You know where everybody is at any
Yeah, I
particular
mean,
point in
You
time.
don't have to give out your location. You can just be somewhere and not really share your location.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean,
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Sylvia, for coming and having this wonderful conversation with us. We are so grateful. I mean,
thank you.
I have been enlightened. And a big shout out to William, a big shout out to Raymond, a big shout out to our production team for holding us down in this special edition.
Design impact.
Yeah, we are so grateful to you. And yes, as I earlier said, we were trying to find a new place to see how everything is. So if you hear some sounds inside, I mean, take them so. Take it like that.
We're in
yeah.
a commercial area.
Exactly. Take it like that. It's been an insightful conversation.
No,
with
I'm not
Doc.
sharing our location. I said we are in a commercial area.
Don't
Don't
share
do it.
location.
Don't
See,
do
he
it.
just gave our location out.
Just give our location out.
No, I said we are in a commercial area.
So for
Everybody in
instance, the guy-
KUSD knows we are in a. If you say
Exactly,
commercial
right?
area, this is where we are.
No, they don't know we're shooting here. You are even putting more fire into it. Because I said we are in a commercial area and it could be anywhere.
Sure, keep defending yourself.
I mean,
Okay.
it's a tip. It's a hint. So.
Doc is here. You're already messing up. Oh. So yeah,
No,
hope
I
you
can still
learned-
defend myself.
Yeah, I hope you learned something. I hope what Doc has said, you would be aware wherever you are, so that all the these bad people wouldn't get access to you, so that they take your monies away or you become emotionally depressed. Because if you don't have money and this thing happens to you, you are literally going to be depressed. And
500
depression-
cedis.
in this economy. So yeah, this has been an insightful conversation, and this is where we end today's exciting episode. So do well to follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitter at takeamso_pod. And please subscribe to our channel. I mean, we appreciate the support so far, but if you've been able to watch this video to this extent,
Share the link.
please subscribe.
Share the link.
We need a subscription.
Share the link.
We are 368 or something. Please get it to 1,000.
Share the link.
Big. And we'll bring a special guest here. Yeah. So thank you so much for sticking and saying. Thank you, Dr. Sylvia and the native son.
We're signing out. Share the
Yeah.
link, guys.
So 1, 2, 3, we have to say take so. 1, 2, 3.
Take 'em so.